All right, we are live on both YouTube and Facebook. I'll give people just a few moments to tune in really quickly here because we do have some new and pertinent information. Some new and pertinent information for you. So I just want to give people a few moments to hop on here. Daniel's here. That's good. All right, Melissa's on here. So thank you for jumping on. Just some news since we put out the recordings for evening services. Some new and important information. Daniel says excited about this new information I've not heard as of yet. That's not true. Daniel has played a big part in this over the past 24 hours or so. And so we just want to let you know kind of what's going on. So let me just give people just a few moments to switch over. So I see some of you hopping on here on Facebook, some of you on YouTube. Just let me know when you get here so we can. I don't want to wait too long because I said really there's not a whole lot of information to get to, but it's important and pertinent information to get to, and so it's not like I can start into it and then things. And so Daniel says if it goes bad now, it's all my fault. That's the way it always works. Anything wrong that happens on Sundays or mistakes happen, they're all Daniel's fault. And so he'll take the fall for that. Yeah, so seriously, Chris, about my allergies. But I was at Daniel's house briefly on Friday and then also all day Saturday. And both times my allergies, I don't know what it was, my allergies started going crazy. My nose was itching like crazy. The back of my throat. I was, if you ever notice, if I'm grabbing my nose or doing things like this, it's trying to keep myself from coughing or sneezing. Like even around my nose and my mustache started to itch. And it was nuts. Like it was really, really difficult. And so all of that, this I was doing on camera and this and all that stuff was just trying to keep from sneezing or coughing, all those kinds of things. Anyway, if people can watch this a little bit later, if they get on here, a few things are going on. If you were part of small group on Wednesday, I did say I kind of went through, and I think even Sunday morning went through some of the options that we have as far as in-person services, and thankful for those opportunities. And one of the things that we were looking at was kind of going towards like old-fashioned, like camp meeting, outdoor, under the tent services, and especially with the weather. I say that as it's been raining today, but as the weather starts to turn towards summer and those kinds of things. And on top of that, we had the Clayton family. Some of you go, I don't know who the Clayton family is. Well, Daniel and I didn't meet them until Monday of this week either. But they've started to follow along with us on Sundays and have communicated with us throughout all of this, and have really been encouraging to us. They approached us and said, "Hey, we have access to this land. You're more than welcome to have services on it." But obviously, there's no building for us to have services on. And yes, Chris, let's pray for better weather. But so one of the things that we did is we got on the trail here to see if we could possibly find a tent, like find a nice tent, and we could just have services. I thought it'd be kind of, again, these are just temporary. It's not perfect solutions, but temporary services under the tent. It'd kind of be a neat thing to do, and I would enjoy it. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. Also, with it being kind of semi-indoor, semi-outdoors, I think we could still maintain proper social distancing, but also be able to probably handle a few more people and those kinds of things. And so we went on search for a tent and found out that there was a church that had a tent. I contacted that church. Can we borrow your tent? And they said, we'll get back to you. And that was on Tuesday, I think, of last week. And the whole week went by and I got no response from them. So I was kind of disappointed because I was even hoping maybe we could set it up this coming weekend and have church today under the tent or something like that. And just no communication. And I thought, well, that's really, really disappointing. Well, we actually finished, or we're maybe in between, or finished recording all of our services last night. And my phone rings. I don't answer it, but I notice that. But there's a message, and I listen to the message, and it's the pastor who we asked if we could borrow his tent, saying, "Hey, some of the men in the church talked about the tent. We have an answer for you. Call me back." And I went, "Well, that doesn't sound really good." If it was a yes, he probably, yeah, come. We'll bring it to you, or let's work something out to pick it up. So I thought, well, all right, I'm gonna make this phone call. And so I call him back, and sure enough, he says, some of the men in the church have discussed the tent, and we don't think it's a good idea to let you borrow it. And the reasons that he didn't think it was a good idea to let us borrow it was because some of the men in the church had assembled it and built it themselves, and it was older. It's been used a lot. It's very heavy. It's potentially dangerous, and they didn't, if they put it up and use it and something happens, well, they're responsible for it. They built it. They're the ones that put it up. But they didn't want to lend it out to somebody and then something bad happened and then be responsible for it. It's not like it was manufactured somewhere and those people could take the blame for it. So they didn't really want to do that. And so honestly, midway through that conversation, I was really, really disappointed. But then it took a quick turn. And this is what the pastor said. He said, "But we would like to help you. This is what we'd like to do." He said, "We want you to find a tent that you think would meet your needs. You think would work and be plenty of size and meet all the things that you want it to have." And he said, "Find the tent you want. Make sure it's big enough. Make sure it's got all the things you want it to have." He said, "Find the one you want." And he said, "Our church will pay for it." Not Pioneer. He said that. He said, "Our church will pay for it." And then he said, "You guys, Pioneer, can use it for as long as you need it and as long as you use it. And then when you're done with it," he said, "you can give it to us and we'll replace that old tent that you wanted to borrow with the one that they basically purchased." So basically they said, "Pioneer, find the tent you want, make sure it fits everything that you need. We'll buy it. That church will purchase it in full. And then basically lend it to us for as long as we need it, and then they'll take it back after that." And so we have done that. We went on a pretty quick search, and a little while found one. The one scary moment was it was quite a bit more expensive than the price the pastor and I had initially discussed. And so I told him, I said, "Hey, why don't you pay whatever you feel comfortable paying, and we'll cover the rest, and we'll consider that like our rental for the tent." And he said, "Well, what's the price?" And I told him, and he said, "No, well, don't worry about it. We'll cover it. We'll take care of it. You do whatever if you think that's going to work, you think that's what you want, go ahead and do that." And so we did that. We purchased the tent. Lord willing, it should be here sometime. Later this week, hopefully by at least Thursday. We did expedite the shipping so that we could get it here. It is Daniel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it is a 26 by 46 tent, which is just a hair under, it's between 1,100 and 1,200 square feet. And so it has side panels. So we can put them down if we need to, or we can put them up depending on how the weather is or those kinds of things. And so so it should have plenty of room. Yes, and David says, "I look at this as a blessing considering the size of the other tent." That's correct. This is a couple hundred square feet bigger than the tent we were actually going to borrow. And so hopefully Thursday or Friday it'll get here. And so I say all of that, and I know many of you work and many of you are doing different things, but we're probably going to need some help to put it up. So Chris asks, or Melissa asks, "But where to meet?" Well, that's where the Claytons come in. The Claytons have offered us their property. It is in Aurora. The exact address, I don't want to be misquoted here, but I think the correct address is 22421 Boones Ferry Road Northeast, Aurora. It's almost right across the street from the Aurora Airport. They have a field in front of their house, a large a large field there that they're mowing down and preparing for us and having ready for us to be able to set up that tent. So that's why we're really praying it can come on Thursday. That way we can have a little while to set it up and try to get it as best and leveled and all of those kinds of things and work through all of the details and all of those kinds of things. And so the nice thing about the location in Aurora is it's fairly centralized for most people. Wilsonville, Canby, Hubbard, Woodburn, Sherwood, Salem, all the people that come from different places. It's it's not too bad for anybody. And because it's right there off of 551 or whatever there, it's not too bad. So so appreciate that, Chris. But Chris volunteering to set up. But other guys, once we get it in and we can set a time where we can get out there and get it start getting it set up and figuring it out, we certainly want to do that. So just we'll reach out to you when that time comes. But again, plan for and Daniel, if you want to speak to this, I don't know, but I'm going to guess if it doesn't come in till Thursday, it may be best to try Friday and or Saturday sometime to do that, whether that's Friday evening or whether that's Saturday or something like that. But we're gonna need some setup. As far as Nita's asking, you're gonna put it up and take it down the same day. We're not 100% sure what we're gonna do, but we'll have to figure that out once we put it up. Because if we're going to use it for a couple weeks, it would kind of be nice to leave it up. But I also don't want to, I want to be good stewards of this thing that we have, and I don't want to leave it if the weather is going to be really bad or things are going to go on windy week or whatever. I don't want to leave it out in the elements and let it get destroyed or messed up or anything like that. So we certainly want to see exactly what we're dealing with, and once we set it up, kind of the lay of the land and how sturdy it is, and we're working on details as far as the equipment's concerned, and because we understand some people may not be able to come still to in-person services, so if we can, we'd still like to record it in some way so that some of those people can still have services to watch and be a part of, and all of those things. And so that's kind of the direction we're moving in and hoping for. So we are hoping and praying along with me. We are hoping to be able to have in-person services this coming weekend. And I know I shared with you a few weeks ago some of our plans for like phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Many of those plans were adapted with the thought that we were going to meet in back in a building somewhere. And so some of that may change with the openness of the venue. And so we'll try to reconstruct some of that and get that to you, try to get information to you as soon as we can. But we're excited about the possibility of being able to pray together and sing together and be together again. It will be a little bit different in the atmosphere because it'll be outdoors on a farm. And so you probably don't want to wear your your nice black Sunday shoes if you don't want to get them all dirty and muddy. Like I said before, somebody mentioned, suspenders, preaching in suspenders. That may be the case next Sunday. Cass, what about you? You wearing suspenders? No, she says no. We'll be worshiping the Lord out on the farm. But it'll be exciting. It'll be one of those things that we always talk about. Do you remember when? And so look forward to that. So we'll have some more details for you in the days to come. We just wanted to let you know that. Anybody have any questions? David Tucker says, time to bring out the banjos. Listen, I had some kids in my youth group that would do some picking and grinning, man. They could do it. Guitars, banjos, mandolins. We could do it. Violins or fiddles. It's all on how you play it. Cellos. Chris can bring his ukulele. That's right. David, time to bring out the banjos. We could do it. All right. Anybody else? Any questions or anything really quickly that you need to know or ask? I don't want to keep you on here too long, but I wanted to let you know that and just make you aware of some of those things that are going on and kind of how they developed throughout this week. And again, we're hoping it gets here in time for us to be able to throw it up this weekend and have it ready to go. And so we'll try to keep you in the know as that time as the week goes on. So just giving you just a minute because I know sometimes it takes a little time for questions or whatever to pop up. So want to give anybody those opportunities. So please do so. I'll give you about 10 or 12 more seconds. I'm not seeing any, which is good. But if you have them, let us know. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Sunday evening. We'll talk to you later.